Team USA, 7-time Olympic gold medalist get beaten by a team, including members that were deemed not worthy enough to be selected for the Olympics. A star-studded nation U.S. basketball women's team have their supposedly favorite spot in doubt. Was the team management and selectors panel right in not selecting these hot prospects for the national team? Stick around to find out answers to the question in the video. Ogunbowale scored a record-breaking 34 points, and Clark almost record-breaking 23 assists and led the WNBA team to a sweet 117-109 victory over the U.S. Olympic team. The victory makes it 2 in a row for the WNBA All-Stars against the Olympians after their 74-62 win of the previous year, where Ogunbowale was crowned MVP. In the past, a football legend once said, "Football is a matter of 12 yards. Similarly, basketball is a matter of 94 feet. For the game, Arike Ogunbowale was the leader in scoring among all the players. Sophomore Caitlin Clark was the best passer. Angel Reese was her usual rebound producer, with 20 points and 15 rebounds. Maggie set a record for scoring in the All-Star game with 34 points, while Clark gave it her best shot with 13 assists. The U.S. may still have the better team at the Olympics, but it did not have all the better players at the All-Star game on Saturday night. Worth noting was the fact that this was the second successive victory for the WNBA All-Star team against the Olympians. The All-Stars also triumphed in 2021, led by Ogunbowale, who was MVP in both games. This is going to help us tremendously. We don't get that many game opportunities, said Breanna Stewart, who had 31 points to lead the U.S. We can go back and watch the film and focus on how we can continue to be better. It was like a little bit of deja vu feeling, but just locking in. The U.S. hopes for the same results in Paris later this month. No team in the world could match the depth or talent that the WNBA All-Stars had. The U.S. women's team will next play Germany in London for an exhibition game on Tuesday before going to France for the Olympics. The Americans are in a pool with Belgium, Japan, and Germany. We have work to do, and we know that, Reeves said. Sometimes it's good, adversity, etc. I don't think we needed a game like this to have our attention. We know how hard it is to do what we're trying to do, and we have work to do to get there. Team USA head coach Cheryl Reeves said Team WNBA's success over the national team just highlights the level of talent in the U.S. She elaborated by saying, "The depth of talent that we have in the USA, there's no one who has anything close to it. There are players on this team that are great players. Everybody knows that. There's no suggestion whatsoever that there are players on Team WNBA that aren't good enough to play on the national team. But only 12 could make it." Reeves jokingly added, "Is Arike Ogunbowale playing for any of these teams we are going to play?" Ogunbowale was held scoreless in the first half, before rattling off 34 points, the most ever scored in a WNBA All-Star game, passing the previous record set by Jewel Lloyd, 31, in 2023. Coach Cheryl Miller actually called me out in front of everyone at halftime, Ogunbowale recalled. "I wasn't expecting her to say my name. She was talking about the team, and she pointed at me. Miller just told me to take a deep breath and play my game." Ogunbowale said the Olympic gear inspired her performance. "They are getting ready to play at the Olympics, and they want to win, so we're not going to get embarrassed as well. I love competition. If I hear somebody is trying to beat me, I'm going to beat them twice as hard. That's usually what happens when we play Team USA." Arike Ogunbowale, born on 2nd March 1997. She is the professional basketball player of the Women's National Basketball Association of Dallas Wings. Ogunbowale has loved basketball since she was 3 years old. At this young age, she would spend lots of time playing with her first toy mini basketball hoop in her Milwaukee childhood home. Athletics have always played a big role in the Ogunbowale family. Her mother, Yolanda Ogunbowale, was a star softball player in high school and college. Her older brother, Dare Ogunbowale, is an NFL running back with tenure on teams such as the Houston Texans. She clearly inherited her family's sense of competition in particular. Ogunbowale's drive was clear throughout her high school years, which she spent training relentlessly. Most of her free time was spent either on the basketball court or soccer field, her first favorite sport. "I was always in the gym, and I always had a tournament, especially since I was playing soccer and basketball," she says. "I pretty much had a tournament every single weekend, so there weren't really a lot of sleepovers." Her efforts paid off with big wins and the first honors of her basketball legacy. She was named Gatorade Wisconsin High School Player of the Year for 3 consecutive years, while on the Divine Savior Holy Angels High School team. In 2015, she was crowned McDonald's High School All-American and Wisconsin Miss Basketball. She also set a Wisconsin state record for most points made in a high school basketball tournament game. Mainly, she scored a whopping 55 points in the Division I semifinal. The Fighting Irish finished the 2018 season in the NCAA Final Four, where they faced the University of Connecticut Huskies in the semifinals. Ogunbowale's performance proved that the game truly isn't over until the clock runs all the way out. With the score tied 89-89 and less than 3 seconds left, the basketball phenomenon made the winning shot. Ogunbowale would prove she could indeed strike lightning twice on the court when it was time for the finals. In the Fighting Irish's final moments against the Mississippi State University Bulldogs, the score was once again tied with just 3 seconds remaining. Ogunbowale landed a 3-point buzzer beater, and Notre Dame became the national championship winners. In 2019, Ogunbowale was drafted to the WNBA to play for the Dallas Wings. Since Ogunbowale's native Milwaukee doesn't have a WNBA team, her first Wings game was the first women's NBA game she ever went to. It was quickly obvious that the Wings had drafted the right player. Ogunbowale would end the season with a spot on the WNBA All-Rookie team and even more records, including first-ever rookie to play multiple 35-point games. She also scored the most points of any Wings player that year, ranking her as 3rd overall scorer in the league. The cherry on top was that she scored the 3rd most points by a WNBA rookie in history. Unsurprisingly, Ogunbowale dominated her next WNBA season in 2020, during which she scored an average of 22.8 points per game. By the season's end, she was the top scorer in the WNBA and one of the youngest players to ever earn that title. She followed that up as a WNBA All-Star 3 years in a row, including an All-Star MVP title in 2021. Ogunbowale continues to see how far she can push her point average. In the weeks before she received the WNBA's Western Conference Player of the Month award in 2023, she was averaging 26.7 points per game. This year, she led the Wings to their first playoff series win in franchise history. In May 2023, the Dallas Morning News awarded her as the cornerstone of the team after directing the Dallas Wings in a win over the Atlanta Dream. The event she was most excited about was the premiere of WNBA games being aired live nationwide in June 2023, as long as her matches were being aired outside the stadium. Her parents celebrated. Besides, in June 2023, she led Dallas Wings to secure the 2nd victory against Mercury during the season. In the match, Dallas Wings emerged victorious with a score of 90-77 before a packed audience. Her efforts produced the highest number of points in the season, with 35 points. Out of 21 attempts, she scored 12 goals and got 5 assists. This part introduces the readers to the WNBA All-Star Game MVP of the Year, 2024, who happens to be Arike Ogunbowale, in which she scored 34 points and 6 assists in a game, with the entire performance being in the second half. This brought Ogunbowale's 2nd All-Star MVP. Earlier in the year 2021, the WNBA All-Stars faced Team USA Olympic teams in the first event, and the second event was the same, featuring the 2 teams. So there you have it. Team USA has been beaten by Team WNBA All-Stars by a fair margin, but the coaches are still hopeful and optimistic about the fact that they can perform at their best in the Olympics. $1 million question is, will they do better? Only time will tell.